really have to become purpose-led as a total company. It's not only the marketing department, it's the innovation department, it's the supply chain, it's the procurement. It has to be everywhere.
Hello and welcome to the 25 Days of Transformation series, where we talk to industry experts and global brands about the highs and lows of digital transformation. We'll learn from real-world business examples, get first-hand industry insights from the digital experts, and we'll take a deep dive into what trends to look out for in the coming months. I'm Tizzy Philp, Strategic Content Lead here at Valtech, and I'm here to guide you through these conversations and to uncover the latest and greatest in digital.
For many B2B companies, it can be a struggle to relay a sense of greater purpose to the outside world. Traditionally, dealing with transactional, complex, but perhaps not always the most exciting products, it can be difficult to tell the bigger story or give consumers a sense of the brand's overall raison d'etre. But Wavin, a global innovative solution provider for the building and infrastructure industry, realised that though their products might not be that exciting in their own right, as a collective, they do have a purpose that is of interest to all of us as consumers, and a purpose that is helping to solve climate change. Today, I'm joined by Emiel van den Boomen, Marketing Communication Manager, and Andrea Rubiano, Global Digital Marketing Manager at Wavin. Together, we'll be talking about what it means for a B2B company to be purpose-led and how Wavin is using digital marketing to tell stories and ultimately sell their products. So it's great to have you both here and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Emiel, maybe we could start with you. I mentioned Wavin's purpose in that introduction. Can you tell us more about what this is and why you decided to focus on being purpose-led?
Yes, sure I can, and thank you for the introduction. Well, it might be an open door, but we all know the world is changing. It's changing fast, and so are we. Just look at the climate, how that is changing, diminished earth resources like water, the migration of people, the level of urbanization. Things are changing, and it's time for companies to change as well, for companies to look beyond profit only. I think it's time for companies to understand how they can be relevant to society. And I think that is what it means to have a purpose. And for us, Wavin, I think our purpose journey started 2 years ago. We realized that also we should be a purpose-led company. We wanted to be a purpose-led company. And as you mentioned in your introduction, B2B companies were known for being boring, especially when it comes to marketing as well. We were definitely not sexy. We are known for merely being product-oriented, but those days are over. B2B companies like Wavin are standing up to show their relevance to the outside world. It's kind of our coming out moment. I can say that it was our coming out. And I think for us, for Wavin, having a purpose was an essential step in our journey as a company, but also a step in order to commit ourselves to a higher cause. And we had to. We were triggered by everything that was going on in the world, all these changes that I just mentioned. And we realized that we are not just on this planet as a company to produce products, in our case, pipes for water distribution. We are actually here to help and support, to overcome bigger global challenges like lacking drinking water, becoming climate resilient, and more. So having a purpose for us means that we contribute to building healthy, sustainable environments. And that is actually also our purpose statement. And it means a lot to our company. Having a purpose means a lot to our company. For sure, when you look at our own employees, because it really makes them proud to work for a company that matters, a company that is not just producing products only for profit, but a company that is relevant to solving important challenges, improving people's lives, because that is actually what we are doing. And I can really say that our company in the past 2 years while we were on this journey, it has a different meaning now. And you see that also being translated in product innovation. We come up with new ideas, new products, new cooperations, new ventures, all based on our purpose. And last, it's not only important for our own people, but it's also important for the outside world, for our customers, for our stakeholders. I mean, we as Wavin, we have over 60 years of experience with water and how to manage that in buildings or under the ground. And with that experience, we can really help our customers with the big challenges. But the question was how to show that to the outside world. And in order to explain our purpose even better, not only having a purpose statement on the walls and on our posters, but in order to explain our purpose even better, we have launched a film called I Am Your City. And in that film, we have given the city a voice. The city explains to the viewer that it needs help. It can't deal with all these changes. It can't deal with all these changes like climate change and urbanization. It goes too fast and the city is lagging behind. We see it with the deteriorating infrastructure. We see it with buildings that are not complying to modern standards anymore. And we, the people, we have created the city, and now it's our job to make it more resilient. And that's what the film is all about. You can watch the video on our YouTube channel, and I think also there is a link in the comments below.
Yeah, and I think we'll certainly make the link available to everybody who's listening to this podcast as well. And you touched on some of the elements there about why cities are so important, but maybe you could expand more on why you focus specifically on the cities.
Indeed, our purpose is all about building long-lasting cities. We know from research that in 2050, 70%, over 70% of all people live in urban areas. And that's triggered by an increasing speed of urbanization, but also migration. And 70%, that's a lot. Huh? I mean, it puts pressure on cities, as you can imagine. And on top of that, on top of urbanization and migration, we are faced with climate change, heavier rainfall, heat waves, drought. And the city is just not ready for that. How do millions of people in a concrete paved area deal with that? Our sewer systems are over 100 years old sometimes. Our buildings are old, and with the heat waves and the drought, they are not ready to offer a suitable indoor climate. So the cities, that's where it matters the most. So we have to come up with solutions for the cities. Solutions, to be honest, we don't have all available yet, so we need to innovate. We need to innovate in order to make our cities greener, safer, more resilient, and make our buildings more comfortable.
And there are huge opportunities there, of course.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
I want to go back now to this purpose-led organization and how you've managed to spread that throughout the organization. Clearly, being purpose-led is great for the greater good. You know, using the power and size of your business to do something for the greater good is of course admirable. But how do you create this sense of purpose internally? How do you make sure that everyone feels it internally?
We did a big song and dance, but let me start with a very small example. Someone told me that a couple of years ago at the dining table, he was talking to his kids about work. He told, and they asked, "What are you doing, Daddy?" Well, he said, "Well, we are making plastic pipes for water transportation." And the kids' attention span was like 10 seconds. They immediately went back on their mobiles and like,
Shut down.
boring. But later on, after we kind of embarked on our purpose journey, he talked about his job in a different way. He told about Wavins Purpose and how we help cities and companies to prevent flooding, to catch rainwater, to help trees in cities grow. And then suddenly the kids became excited. That's what you do. So you can actually capture the rainwater and then give it to the trees to help them grow. Yes, that's what we do. Oh, okay, cool. So that's on a very small scale. It already changed a lot for our people. But as I mentioned in the beginning, we did a big song and dance. We have organized a purpose event where we introduced the purpose to all the people that came together in Amsterdam. We had external speakers. We had speakers who could talk about how they were working to overcome the challenges in their particular city. So we had people from the city of Amsterdam, from the city of Buenos Aires, for example, and they told us the stories about how they help people getting sufficient drinking water or sanitation. In case of the city of Amsterdam, the lady told us how she was working on a daily basis making the city of Amsterdam climate proof. And we had these people on stage to tell our colleagues, look, these people are already doing the job. These people are doing the things where we can help, where we can make a difference.
That's really interesting. And I was going to ask actually whether at any point when you decided to go down this purpose driven route, did you ever feel like it could be a risk from an external messaging perspective? Did you ever feel like it could be poorly received or that it was in some way jumping on a bandwagon? Were you ever concerned about that?
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. There are examples out there of companies who communicated about having a purpose, but they did not act accordingly. Some also say, yeah, it's just a marketing gimmick. We knew that, and we had it in our minds all the way through our purpose journey, from the earlier moments when we started to define our purpose statement. We had that in mind, and I think that's important. I think you really have to become purpose led as a total company. It's not only the marketing department, it's the innovation department, it's the supply chain, it's the procurement. It has to be everywhere. And I think we have managed to do so. Also, the responses from customers and stakeholders, they say, you are hitting the nail. You are explaining exactly where the problem is in the cities. And this is the way you should look at it. And we are happy to work together. So I think, yeah, you can hear I'm proud of our
Yeah.
purpose.
Yeah.
I think we really did a good job, and I'm happy to see that the whole company is moving in the right direction.
And I think you'll always find when you have something like this, you're giving your employees meaning. It's making them feel part of something greater, which can never be a bad thing. Andrea, perhaps we could move on to you now. So, you're Global Digital Marketing Manager at Wavin. Could you share with us how you're translating this approach into how you do digital campaigning now?
Absolutely, TC. I think, as Emil mentioned, we are in this journey to embed purpose to everything we do, from our daily activities to the big marketing campaigns that we are developing. So, since the purpose was launched, we are also making purpose a big part of every single marketing campaign that we're developing globally. Our campaigns are not only about new products or their benefits, but they are really talking about what global challenges are we addressing or we can help address together with our customers. For example, the latest campaign that we developed, it is about the puzzle of rainwater management. And as Emil was also mentioning at the beginning, it is really a puzzle how cities need to manage rainwater, in a daily basis. How do they manage it during or after a heavy rainfall? How can they prevent floodings? How they can collect rainwater and even reuse it? So this campaign starts there. How can we help cities with this big puzzle? We developed a very nice creative way of communicating this puzzle with a Rubik's cube in the shape of a city. So that was very interesting. But that was the medium to really start the conversation or really introduce the campaign addressing the global challenge that we're helping to solve. And then the campaign evolves into specifically what is the solution that we are providing, and then going deeper into the product or the benefits, the unique selling points for that are relevant for a specific target audience. This specific campaign that is completely connected to our purpose, we developed together with Valtech. It's focused in two main audience groups, the engineers and specifiers, and the second one is contractors. We mapped, including all the countries that are, of course, part of this product launch and campaign. We mapped the customer needs, the different audience needs. We mapped our unique selling points. And of course, we are using different digital channels to reach these audiences and convert them into sales leads.
And throughout all of that process, what have you found to be the most important pillars of launching a digital campaign approach? What have been the challenges and where do you see the wins for your company?
I think the biggest challenge for us right now is to ensure that we deliver the best customer experience across all our digital channels and also a consistent campaign message. These campaigns are being launched now in several countries across Europe, and we also want to be able to keep that consistent campaign message from purpose to solution to specific product benefits, which are going to help us introduce the purpose also into our customer base, connect to that emotional side of why are we doing this, how can we help together improve these social challenges, and of course always help with the daily work of our customers, with the daily challenges. We needed to develop a harmonized way of working. So really digital is the best area where we can harmonize, where we can maximize efficiency, all towards improving performance, of course. So yeah, the biggest challenge was how do we maximize efficiency across 14, 15, 16 countries across Europe, and at the same time also improve the capabilities of our digital marketing community.
I know it's still relatively early stages and that you're still testing, but can you share any results yet? Are the campaigns working? What are the KPIs that you've set? And interestingly, just in addition to that, this is clearly a strong differentiator for you, for your competitors. Are you seeing any early results that indicate that that is definitely the case?
Yes, absolutely. For this specific campaign, the rainwater campaign, it is early stages. But so far in 4 countries, we have produced around 3.7 million impressions, around 23,000 sessions to our different landing pages, and 85 leads. I know 85 sounds a little bit small to compare to the impressions and the sessions, but we need to keep in mind that this specific campaign, it's targeting large construction and infrastructure projects, and these are very niche, of course, and also are projects with a long conversion cycle. So even though it's 85, it is high quality leads, and we're very happy with the results right now. But in other campaigns that we're running, also following the same framework, we're seeing very, very positive results. We had one focus more on the installer audience, and there the amount of leads that we're producing are in the thousands. So it's going very well.
It is going well. And I wonder whether you feel optimistic about the point that going forward, we've just done a couple of podcasts in this series actually where we've talked about sustainability. We've talked about the importance of having an environmental conscience or a social conscience. And I wonder whether you see this in the future. This question goes to both of you. If you see this in the future as being a key differentiator when clients choose to work with companies like you, will they in 5-10 years time ultimately choose those companies who are purpose led, who have agendas like you do, over those who don't or are less vocal about it?
I think that we are on the right track. I mean, when we started working with Valtech as well, we could see when we started explaining how our company is being purpose led and what we can actually do what we can contribute to society, you saw them becoming eager and enthusiastic because they had no idea. They thought we were this plastic pipe manufacturing. Okay, boring. No, we really have so much more. And that was to Valtech, but you can also see that to the outside world. And the future of cities, it's so evident that cities are working so hard to become climate resilient, to reduce their emissions level. Every big city has their own plan. So there is a lot of work to do. We need to reach out to them digitally, for sure, because there are so many people working in this field, in this area. And we are moving. We are moving as Wavin, also in B2B, from being a more traditional marketing company with exhibitions and brochures to become more digital. We have made huge steps in the past. I think we can call ourselves front runners in the construction industry. And yeah, that industry is changing as well. And so are we, how we are communicating with our colleagues. Of course, COVID-19 has forced us to change our communication. But 2 months ago, we organized a big television show. We rented a studio where we connected to 600 colleagues all over the world. We had guests in the studio, and we connected live to colleagues and customers all over Europe. It was like one of those morning breakfast TV shows. Valtech has opened our eyes towards reaching out to new customers, to stakeholders, digital meeting opportunities. We have embraced. We are taking them with both hands. So, yeah, we are on the right track, Andrea.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's finding that balance, right? The balance between purpose messaging, emotional messaging, and also actual benefits, tangible benefits to our customers. And in terms of digital, it is finding that balance between offline and online. Offline is a big part of our customer base still, and I think that's going to remain. But really, is how can we deliver that best experience, bringing together online and offline, and really focusing on which is the channel that gives us the best performance.
I think this is hopefully paving the way for other companies to listen to what you've been doing at Wavin and consider taking their own purpose-led approaches and making sure that business from now on is about that greater purpose and about doing something that means something better. So thank you so much, Emiel and Andrea, for joining us today on the podcast. It was really great to speak to you.
Thank you, TC.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the 25 Days of Transformation series from Valtech Cafe. If you enjoyed this podcast, then why not subscribe and keep up to date with all of the episodes in this series and a whole host of insights from the Valtech Cafe back catalogue. And if you'd like more information about what we do or to get in touch, why not visit us at valtech.com to find out the details. Until next time, thanks for listening.